Welcome in, soccer fans. Week 5 here in the USL Championship. David Horst, Landon Southwick, thank you for joining us in tonight's match between the Reno 1868 FC and the Real Monarchs. David, what do we expect from both sides today? Sitting similarly in position in the Western Conference table, 9th and 10th respectively, but we're still early on in the season.
Reno is a very high-powered offensive team, so how are they going to match up against the Monarchs, who are have an extremely stingy defense? So it's going to be a great matchup today to watch how these two teams face off against each other and who's going to kind of win that battle today.
Both sides come in different situations, like we often talk about. Monarchs coming off a 1-0 loss in Las Vegas in a very physical battle where there were opportunities but weren't able to find the back of the net. Reno 1868 coming in from a 3-3 draw in a game that they feel like they should have won. It was tied 3-0 in the 72nd minute, ended up giving up 3 late goals. But we're going to take a short break and be back with starting lineups shortly. America First Credit Union, ensuring the financial health of local families and businesses for 80 years. Tonight's match is presented by Steward Healthcare. Steward, world-class healthcare where you live. Visit steward.org. Mountain America, start preparing for your future today with Picture Perfect savings accounts from Mountain America. They offer term deposits, youth accounts, retirement savings, and more. Visit macu.com. For banking that always puts the best team on the pitch, Zions Bank is for you.
A lot can happen when your sidekick is a dog.
Kicker! I got this.
That's why you use Zelle in the Mountain America app. It makes sending and receiving money fast and easy, so Kicker and I can keep the adventure going.
Zelle is now in the Mountain America mobile app. Quickly send and receive money from almost anyone with a bank account in the U.S.
Kicker, my sleeping bag.
I've got this.
All with the convenience and security of the Mountain America app.
For the past 42 years, and with over 28 million sold, more people have put their hard-earned money on a Ford F-Series truck than any other pickup in America. Yeah, I'd say that's money well spent. It's Ford Truck Month, America. Time to join the stampede.
Now get a Ford F-150 with 0 for 72 financing plus $1,000 trade assist cash, or get over $13,000 in total savings.
Welcome into the beautiful Zions Bank Stadium here in Harriman City. Brody inside the 18. Brody shot and goal! Andrew Brody.
Blake takes the shot and he hammered it home.
Goals this year. He had 16 for Reno last year. The Monarchs are going to have to be aware of where he is at all times because he is their most dangerous player. And then on the flip side, for the Monarchs, how are Joao Plata and Justin Glad going to fit into this lineup? This has been an extremely stingy defense for the Monarchs. So can Justin bring this defense to a whole nother level? And then this is a team that also has been trouble scoring throughout this season. Can Joao add that extra spark to the Monarchs offense for this game?
Both sides out on the pitch and ready to go. Overcast afternoon here in Harriman, Utah. Been rain in the forecast and possible rain for this afternoon, but currently in the high 50s. And clouds, not a bad temperature to watch soccer at. Center referee, Faudis Bazakos, Jacob Harolds, Callie Smith, and Hamid Sadehi as the fourth official for tonight. Monarchs in their cobalt kits. Reno in their all whites. Monarchs gonna move from right to left across your screen. Welcome in those of you tuning in on ESPN Plus for this USL Championship Western Conference matchup. Monarchs with a few recognizable faces for Real Salt Lake fans. Justin Glad on a rehab assignment, as well as Joel Plata in the middle of the park for the Monarchs.
Yeah, these are two guys that haven't gotten many chances with the first team this year so far. So this is what the whole organization is about, is opportunities like this for guys that should be playing on the first team that need to get their 90-minute game fitness back, and they can do that in these games.
Ball on, inside the box, put across. And Brody was there to cut it out. Reno attacking well. Glad trying to clear it, and he'll clear it up into the stands. We have throw in on the far side for Reno. Looking to Brown. Glad defends Brown. Clipped inside the box, falls, and awkwardly is on the ground. It'll be a corner kick for Reno as the Monarchs concede an early corner.
When you have a cross coming across the goal like you see Kalen Reno take a touch and it bounces to the oncoming Reno player. As a center back, you cannot take a touch in the box. That has to be a one-time clearance from Kalen Ryden right there.
Kasipley will step out to take the corner kick here in the second minute of play here at Zions Bank Stadium. It's going to be swung in, left foot. Richards was right there, took a bounce, still inside the area. Monarchs struggling to clear, and Jordan Pena with a hand in the back, and a PK will be called.
That is an extremely inexperienced move right there by Jordan Pena. You know, he might have been able to get away with that in the academy, but at this level, when you put your hands on the back of a player in the box, they will go down, and that's what happened here.
Haji facing away from goal as you see the replay, and the hands just in the back puts him down in the third minute, and there's going to be a PK coming as Kasipley will step up to try to put Herzog will step up. He's from the spot. Save! Big save! Ochoa gets that one perfectly and keeps things level here at Zions Bank Stadium.
One guy that we've talked about this whole season so far, David Ochoa, coming up big, reads the play correctly and gets that big paw on there.
Still inside the box, Monarchs struggling to clear. Plata takes the touch. He's going to get around, tries to go through 2-3 defenders. Good push down, and it'll be a free kick for the Monarchs. You can hear conversation from Martin Vasquez, head coach for the Monarchs. Brody trying to find Plata in the middle of the park. We swung along the back line of Reno. Janjigian played forward high for Brown. Ochoa comes way out, wins it with his head, playing as a center back almost there.
Hey, as a keeper in this formation, you have to be on your toes, and you have to be ready for those balls that come over top of the back line, and you have to get there to help your defense out.
Especially with Brown. The attacking prowess of Brown as that one slides through.
Now, Landon, the last time we were out here on this field, the Monarchs, from the first whistle for the first half, they controlled the game. Can they slow this game down right now and get it under control? Right now, Reno is controlling everything to start this game, and the Monarchs get control of that ball and impose their will in Reno.
PK early, but still scoreless as Ochoa comes up with the big save, gets things right. Monarchs still trying to figure out how to connect passes. And more possession for Reno. Haji cuts in, nice move there. Ryden able to cut it off, and Pena, the academy product, out wide to Brody. Ochoa quickly playing it forward, trying to find Hurd. He'll settle.
And those big switches from the Monarchs, that's what's going to be on today. Reno plays a very tight 4-4-2 diamond formation, so the majority of their players will be on the inside of the field, which means the space is going to be on the outside. So the Monarchs have to hit those big switches early to find those overloads with their winger and their outside back.
Hurd. Cut off by Reno. Janjigian going to play it long and forward, trying to play it up over the top. Monarchs defense there. A roll all the way back to the keeper. Chang looking forward to Douglas. Martinez headed away by Janjigian. Monarchs with possession. Big switch there from Plata.
And there's that big switch I was talking about to the outside back.
Moberg trying to serve it in, looks into the box to Chang. Chang will settle. Touch, shot, and a goal! Michael Chang!
Michael Chang picking up where he left off the last time at Zion's Bank Real Academy here. He is on the scoreboard again. The last time we saw him, 2 goals, assist, and right back to where he left off.
Chang with a beautiful touch there and an impossible angle and puts it into the back of the net. And I think a lot of that credit has to go to James Moberg. He'll be credited with the assist, but that was a lot of good work. Plata started that as Moberg's down on the pitch, getting some medical attention. But Plata started that play as he took the big switch, got it over to Moberg, and Moberg was able to put it back into the mix.
Yeah, as I just said, the Monarchs have to find that big switch to the outside back or to the winger. That's where the space is. They found James Moberg there. He had all the time in the world to put in a good cross, and he found Michael Chang on the back post, who calmly brought it down and finished it on the back post.
Chang with 3 goals here in the 2019 season. He's been one of those efficient players for this Monarch side. He's been one of those guys that has really put himself in a good spot. Moberg's got some blood, it looks like. So he'll come off the pitch.
We had a great conversation over the week with James Moberg, and just talking about that experience that he has and how the veteran leadership is really going to help this young Monarchs team this year. So the Monarchs need to get Moberg back out in the field as fast as they can.
Sometimes it's a little tough to get the nose plugged as he's getting cleaned up on the hands. Monarchs playing with 10, but it'll be a goal kick from Ochoa.
Having a penalty kick that early on in the game, it can swing the game either way. It could have swung one way for Reno if they would have scored, or it could swing the other way for the Monarchs if Ochoa saved it. And Ochoa saved it, and within a few minutes here, you see the Monarchs go down the field and score, and it kind of swung the momentum at the start of this game for the Monarchs.
Carroll, the captain, picks up his head, finds Kasipli. Kasipli trying to find the runner, Richards. Richards made that run really early, but Kasipli was not able to find him as Moberg's back on the pitch. Ochoa, Pena right in front of him. Keeper, ref telling Ochoa he needs to play. I've already seen a yellow card from him this season for a little time wasting.
At this age, he's not going to get away with that. You know, maybe an experienced goalie can waste a little bit more time, but as a young goalie, he's not going to get away with that. He has to be careful back there because he can't pick up cards.
Good vision there from Brody as he was able to pick up his head and find Moberg. Moberg is going to go forward. Looking for Martinez. Martinez is a guy that has put in a lot of work this season, David, but really has no fruits to his labors yet so far.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that he is, every single game, he is putting in an absolute shift. And right now, he has nothing to show for it. But he's one of those guys, because of that work ethic, when that first goal comes, he already knows how to work hard, so that the floodgates are going to open for him. And those goals are just going to keep coming because he's got that work ethic to put himself in the right positions.
Monarchs putting a lot of pressure on Brian Brown as they know he's capable of scoring 4 goals in 3 games, 16 last season for this very high-powered offense that Ian Russell has deployed for the past 3 seasons. He's been at the helm of Reno.
And for Real Salt Lake and Monarchs fans out there, you might see a little bit of the old Real Salt Lake in this formation for Reno. Real Salt Lake used to play a 4-4 diamond underneath Jason Kreis, and it was very high-powered as well. And Ian Russell has kind of adopted that same type of formation with the same players. They like to keep possession in the middle and find those attacking guys between the back line.
Ball inside the box, cuts back. Pena there to clip it away. Monarchs looking for something from the AR on the near side.
Herzog and Brown are the kind of players, they will sit on that back line and they're going to look for those little through balls from their midfielder. So the defenders are going to have to be aware of where each other are because they can't hold an offsides line if one player is behind them.
Throwing again for Reno. Kasipli. Everyone. All the way back to Carroll. Carroll's going to go right back to where it came from. Seymour. Trying to find somebody. Runs not lining up with the passes so far. That'll be a goal kick for the Monarchs.
Gotta find Andrew.
High goal kick forward, won by Reno. Settled by Seymour. Seymour up over. Cleedle. Side to Kasipli. Monarchs keeping a good line. Defensively so far. The only opportunity, the penalty kick.
Higher.
Bad giveaway from the Monarchs. Chang put the Monarchs ahead in the 6th minute of play. Janjigian out wide.
That is where the Monarchs are going to have to be careful. When that ball gets switched wide to the opposite side, James Moberg is the outside back. He cannot step out of his line because as soon as it does, it leaves a hole for those 2 strikers in Brown and Herzog for them to then run into. So Moberg and Brody are both going to have to stay connected to their center backs today and not leave any holes for these guys to run into.
Glad will win the goal kick for the Monarchs. Plays it nicely off Brown. A couple injury notes for the Monarchs. Avila, Palma, and Akomu out with injuries. For this Monarch side, Plata. Left space. Finds Chang. Chang tries to get it back to him. Not a good ball.
It's all right. It's okay. Come on.
Carroll. They're looking for that long ball, if you can see, David. It's oftentimes this back 4 for Reno has really just picked up their head trying to find an on-rushing player.
Well, what you will see is you'll see Brian Brown and you'll see Corey Herzog kind of both check back into the middle, and that is the cue then for Haji and for Gleedle to immediately sprint in behind the back 4, because the hope is that when those forwards come back in, that the center backs come with them, leaving a huge space for Reno to be able to play into. Like I said with Moberg just a second ago, the Monarchs are going to have to be really careful to not leave those holes in the back line for Reno to run into.
Reno coming off a 3-3 draw last weekend against OKC. Like we mentioned, they were up 3-0 up to the 72nd minute and gave up 3 late goals. Plata trying to find Chang. Chang still gets it at his feet. Chang picks up his head, trying to find Brody. Brody inside the box. Back to Martinez. Still inside the area. Plata. He'll take a shot. And a goal! Joao Plata! That's why he's on the contract he is with Real Salt Lake. Very capable of creating some magic.
He's one of those guys that at any moment can do something like that. But who were we just talking about a few minutes ago? Douglas Martinez, finding himself in the right spot in front of goal where he should be, keeps control of the ball, has an excellent layoff back to Joao Plata, as you'll see here in the replay, and he puts it away.
What a goal there from Plata. The Monarchs are up 2-0 in the 16th minute of play, and what could have been a very different game. It's not saved by Ochoa, and the Monarchs might be chasing this one a little bit. The last time these two sides got together, there was no goals until the 92nd minutes, a playoff matchup in late October where Reno went on to advance, moved on to the conference semifinals.
The Monarchs have to be careful, though, here with a 2-0 lead. All it takes is scoreline. They only need one to get back into this game.
Glad to Pena. Pena in some tight spaces there.
Great composure from the young lad.
Come on, Corey!
Select is the official soccer ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues around the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit selectsportamerica.com. Ball swung in. Brody's going to head it back, looking towards the 6, but nothing there. Pena has all the time in the world. He'll pick up his head, finds Plata.
Stay, Jordan, stay.
Plata with the big switch. Trying to find Moberg out wide, just didn't have enough juice on it. Hurd's going to be taken out from behind by Janjigian.
That's a frustration foul right there from Janjigian. He knows his defense should be doing better than what it is, and he just lets Josh Hurd know, hey, it may be 2-0, but it's still going to be a long night for you. I like that foul from Janjigian.
Not a bad foul, not a terrible distance, not the best spot to give away a foul,
Andrew,
but
Andrew, next time bring it
Reno
down.
going to hold their line just on top of the 18. It'll be a one-man wall as Plata will stand over it.
Can Plata drop that ball in between the goalie and the line that Reno is holding?
Plata, back post, trying to find Martinez and Glad.
Keep coming, Justin.
We
Keep
picked
coming,
out
Taylor.
of the air
Go.
by Marcinkowski,
He's
making
over
his
there.
second appearance of the season. 1 save, 2 goals conceded on the 2019 season for JT.
You'll see with the way that Reno is playing here is that they have their 4 midfielders in the center. Then their outside backs, Lacroix and Richards, will give them their width and try to overload the middle with 4 center midfielders against the Monarchs 3.
Monarchs dealt with the midfield pretty well so far, except for those first few minutes. There's a little bit of miscommunications inside the box.
Nick, Dad.
Blake got clipped. Thomas and Alave on the bench of the Monarchs, giving some instruction to Joao Plata. From one MLS veteran to another. Blake left that one in late, and Carroll got him.
There's nothing there. It was just a late step by Carroll. Blake left his foot in there. That's a good foul from Carroll.
Glad forward to Martinez. Martinez working hard, like we mentioned. Hurd trying to get around. He's able to do it. This little step there. He'll find it back to Blake. Blake's going to flip it inside the box, looking for Martinez. Chang was on the back stick as well. Brown. He'll put it in the middle of the park. We cut off by the Monarchs. Plata looking pretty composed. Gets the ball every time. Takes maybe a touch or two too many.
You know, he's getting his fitness back, but he's also getting that, that feel for the game back as well. You know, people think it's just really easy for players to come back after a long injury layoff to just step right back into it, but it's really not. He has to get that feel for the game back. He has to get that fitness back. He has to get that same mental strength back as well. And that is what the point of the Monarchs is for guys from the first team to come down, for us to bring academy players up and have them all kind of get that experience together.
Blake to Plata. Plata out wide to Moberg. This little simple touch there. The Monarchs will recycle. Ochoa. Ochoa likes to play with a little flair. He always has to do something. It's one of the things that young 18-year-old. Richards trying to find Herzog.
You can tell right now Reno's getting frustrated. They're throwing their hands up in the air. They're yelling at each other. Right now, the Monarchs have been sitting in their 2 blocks, and right now they've just been kind of containing Reno, and they're not able to find the runs that they want.
Brody out wide. Brody trying to find Chang. Chang with a nice touch. Chang defended by Carroll. Back inside the box, and a layoff. Martinez trying to find Plata again. And I think I'll go back to that. There's going to be yellow cards shown to Josh Hurd as he takes down Gleedle.
Very professional foul from Josh Hurd there. Slow the play down, you take a yellow. But you slow the play down and allow your guys to get back into their defensive formation.
22nd minute of play, yellow card shown to Josh Hurd. What I was going to mention is, if Chang would have gone down, I think Carroll was hung for him enough that he falls, and that's a penalty kick, especially because of the early penalty kick. But give Chang credit. He tried to stay up and play the beautiful game and the soccer that he needed to. Brown finds himself in space. He's going to go at Glad, cuts back again towards the touchline. It'll be a save there.
Great work from Brown, but I honestly expect better out of Justin Glad, and I will say that because when he goes back and watches this, he's going to be extremely upset with himself as well, and he's going to know he should have done better in the one-on-one situation. He can't let a guy like that get that position and fall for his cuts then. He's got to keep him in front of him and not turn his back to him.
Kasipli. He'll put it in. Headed away by Ryden. Still inside the box. Plata with the big touch. He'll outlet to Martinez. Martinez about to pick one up forward. Brody, he's making a dead sprint. Monarch's going to kind of settle in.
I like that work for Martinez there. He's on the run, realizes I don't have the support that I need right now, so he pulls the ball back, lets his other teammates join him in the attack, and it allows them to keep the ball. Now they find themselves in an even more dangerous position than when the play started.
Plata trying to find Moberg. Ball didn't have quite enough height, but it'll still be won by the Monarchs for a throw-in. Plata to Brody. To Chang. And the Monarchs will recycle. Monarchs team looks pretty composed. Those first few minutes were really nervy from this Monarchs side. Maybe the adjustments were there. I'm not quite sure. But everybody kind of looked out of sorts as they not cleared out of the box, and then Pena gets called for the foul in the back.
To be honest, I'm going to say that penalty save from Ochoa changed the momentum in this game. Reno started out hot. They were all over the Monarchs in the Monarchs 18-yard box. They got the penalty kick, and they could have gone up 1-0 in the first 5 minutes, which is a dream start for Reno here in Utah against the Monarchs. But Ochoa changes the momentum of the game with the big save, and we find ourselves here now with the Monarchs leading 2-0 instead of Reno leading 1-0. And that all comes down to David Ochoa's big save.
You can't count out this Reno side, very capable of scoring goals, especially with the likes of Herzog and Brian Brown up top. Gleadle found himself on the score sheet last week in his first goal. He's trying to find Herzog, tries to turn Glad. Glad does a good job there to stand him up.
Much better job in a one-on-one situation from Justin Glad there. That's the Justin Glad that we have come to know, and that is what we expect from him right there.
Guy that many people thought was a future, and still do think is a future U.S. national team product. Chang, he's going to go at the defense. Cuts in to Martinez. Martinez inside the box, lays it off to Brody. Chang, top of this 18. Shot deflected. Back over to Plata. Plata got his pitching wedge and puts it up over the crossbar.
Plata is not going to be happy with himself when he goes back and watches that. He finds himself in a great scoring position and just doesn't connect the way that he wants to with the ball. Once again, great work from Martinez to open up that space, collect the ball, and play it back to Andrew Brody, who then plays an unbelievable ball across the 18 to Michael Chang.
Brown yet to really make an impact in this match. 8 shots, 4 goals on the season, like we mentioned, in 3 games. Tonight's his 4th match. He's going to drop deep into the midfield to find this one. Out wide to Haji. Haji, defended by 2 Monarchs, plays it well inside the box. Kasipli gets on the end of it, back post, no one's home. Gleadle's there. Moberg defends him. Ball's going to take a deflection off Gleadle, last touch, and it'll be a Monarchs goal kick.
Excellent one-on-one defending from James Moberg there. That is such a tough situation because you cannot be aggressive. 1, he can shoot, or 2, Gleadle can take it to the end line and try to get across the face of the goal, but Moberg is patient, reads what Gleadle's going to do, blocks the cross, and it deflects off Gleadle out of bounds, and the Monarchs get the ball back.
Last 120 minutes for the Monarchs. 7 goals here scored at Zions Bank Stadium. Bad giveaway. An opportunity. Pena there, and it'll go out for a throw-in. It'll be Monarchs throwing inside their corner.
You know, we talked about it in the first game, Landon, that the Monarchs can't give the ball away in bad positions in front of their own goal. Right there, it's a good ball on the Plata, but Plata's got to be a little bit stronger and hold that guy off because the Monarchs cannot give the ball away 25 yards away from their own goal.
Gleadle gets around the defense. Glad's there. Glad touches it off Gleadle, and it'll be a goal kick for the Monarchs. Gleadle played for the RSL U18 Academy side. He's from the UK. Hurd. Janjigian will play it out, and it'll be a throw-in for the Monarchs. Just at midfield. 28th minute of play. Monarchs 2-0. Plata and Chang are the goal scorers. Nice hold-up play there from Martinez.
Excellent composure also from the wily veteran Moberg, who keeps his composure and finds Martinez's feet in a tight area.
Martinez tries to keep it in. It'll cross the line. It'll be a throw-in again. Moberg's been one of those veterans, one of the type of guys that has really been around. He finds himself sometimes on the bench, sometimes in the starting 18, but he is always efficient when he's inside the 18.
And even when he doesn't start, he still keeps himself mentally engaged to what's going on the field because he's one of those guys that plays multiple positions and has to be ready to come in at any time.
Brody does a good job to defend Brown. You know, I know Moberg has a few family members that are always listening, and we've got to give a shout out to Grandma Pat. She's always there, consistently watching games. Shout out to Grandma Pat in Missouri.
Hey, and Grandma Pat gives feedback on us all the time, so I absolutely love that. I love the feedback and what we can work on, you know, as a commentating duo.
Martinez.
Drop, Kaylin, drop.
Brody does a good job to go forward. A little confusion between the officials. It'll be a throw-in for the Monarchs. I don't know that there was a touch, maybe a foul called. But it'll be a throw-in for the Monarchs. Ian Russell not happy with that one. Brody wide to Glad. That's going to go forward. Didn't work out so well there for the Monarchs. Not sure what was going on. The interchange there.
Justin Glad going on an adventure into the midfield there.
Jordan!
Gleedle picks up his head, finds Brown. Brown waiting for someone to come around him. Haji. Pena was there. Jang had Martinez for a quick second. It's gonna take, looked like maybe a deflection, but it'll be off the Monarchs. It'll be a throw in for Reno. Carroll quickly takes it. Marcinkowski. Woo. Could get that one off my tongue. Carroll. He'll cross the midfield stripe. Brown, who's been checking deeper and deeper into the midfield here in the last few because he hasn't been able to get the touches up top.
He's not finding the ball where he wants to right now, and as a forward, when you're not finding the ball, you start coming back a little bit deeper and deeper into the midfield. You want touches. You want to stay engaged in the game, but Brown's got to stay high. He's got to keep that vertical distance for this Reno team because he can't make that midfield small. They already have 4 center midfielders in there. So Brown, he's got to stay on that line. Make it hard on the Monarchs back 4. As we just said, he is on Justin Glad. He's sitting on that back line. He holds Glad off. Glad has to foul him here. Now the Reno finds himself with a great scoring opportunity.
Free kick coming for Reno. About 25 out. Monarchs going to set a wall just inside the 18. Multiple players in there. Kasipley will stand over the free kick. He's going to take it. And a shot up into the cobwebs, but does not find the back of the net.
What a strike by Kasipley there. Monarchs, though, are lucky. One, that the free kick doesn't go in, and the follow-up is not pounced on by one of the Reno players. Only one Monarchs player followed that shot up, and that was Andrew Brody. Reno had 4 or 5 guys in front of the goal and just takes an unlucky bounce away from every single one of those guys that followed up the shot.
Plata down on the pitch, getting medical attention. It'll be a throw-in for Reno, as we're going to see a replay look at this one. My goodness, pinged that crossbar. Plata looks to be all right. Holding his left upper quad, it looks like. Maybe more towards the hip. Big, long throw-in inside the box. Ochoa came all the way out. Ochoa gets knocked in the face. He's got blood, it looks like. No one paying attention to that. Ochoa with one hand
I'm pretty sure the referee thought that everybody was yelling about Plata to come back on the field, not realizing that Ochoa had been hit in the face and maybe bleeding.
34th minute of play. Ochoa is going to get some assistance. Wasn't sure if he was bleeding, but he was holding it like he was bleeding. It's like there's not blood. He's getting some attention to the mouth. Fans follow the Real Monarchs and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join over 2 million sports fans who have already signed up and discovered ESPN+ and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. That's ESPNplus.com. $5. It's a good $5. Something I definitely have a subscription to. I like to watch.
If you are a sports fan, that's gonna be the best $5 you spend.
Especially if you're watching some USL action. Pena. Brody. Brody looked like he didn't catch that one completely clean. Herzog trying with a big chest. Plata and Blake not quite on the same page.
That's just two guys that have not played together very much right there.
Good cutout by Moberg. All the way back to Ryden. Back line slightly different with Noah Powder on the bench today. He's been a consistent for this Monarch side, starting 3 games. Martinez is going to go down, and the foul will be called against him. Where's the restart? Martinez is going to be called for the foul, but I'm really not sure. That didn't look like a restart to me.
Honestly, Landon, I'm not really sure what happened there. I'm not sure if the ref had his eyes on some turkey legs in the stands and missed the restart, or what happened.
But it'll be a yellow card shown to Douglas Martinez. Monarchs now lead the USL in yellow cards. 15 yellow cards shown to the Monarchs this season.
And to be honest, I'm all right with that. What that stat means is that the Monarchs, they're imposing their will physically on other teams. Other teams are going to realize, hey, this is not going to be an easy game when we step on the field with the Monarchs.
Blake was just right there pleading the case of Martinez. Martinez knew what he was doing, though. A frustration foul.
Stay, Jordan, stay, move it, move it. We can go back, we can go back.
Ryden's going to go forward. Good little touch there. And Brown is going to be called for the foul. A little back and forth, getting a little chippy.
Strikers will get away with those fouls all day without ever getting a card, because the ref just assumes, hey, it's a striker. He doesn't know what he's doing defensively.
Spoken like a true defender.
That's right.
Pure frustration. Plata. David Horst, Landon Southwick here in the booth. David Horst, decade plus experience in MLS. Can I say decade plus? That sounds intense.
Sounds like a long time, and it went by very quickly.
Just means he's old. Seymour. Up to Brown. Brown just looks frustrated. Brown looks frustrated. Ryden and Glad have been on his back all night long. Really hasn't had a chance to turn.
Brown, he's a very much a physical specimen. He's used to imposing himself onto other defenders. Ryden and Glad are both big, strong guys, so it hasn't been easy for Brown so far in this game. But he's a good player. He's got to keep his head, because his moment to score can come at any time. So mentally, he cannot get frustrated and check himself out of the game.
39th minute of play. Monarchs 2-0. Here on 2 early first half goals after conceding a penalty kick that was saved by Ochoa. If you're just tuning into this one on ESPN+.
I am also really liking what I'm seeing from Reno here over the last 10 minutes. They have controlled the flow of this game. They are doing what they want to do, which is keep possession and create chances out of that.
Ball there. Plata applying some pressure. Back to the keeper. Like I mentioned, this is not a side you can count out. They're very capable of scoring goals. In the last 2 seasons, in 2017, they scored 75 goals. 2018, 56 goals. And so far this season, 8 goals here in 5 games. Ryden. Haji, good turn there. Richards.
Once again, Reno keeping possession of the ball. They're poking and prodding the 2 lines of the Monarchs right now. They're not finding the holes that they want. They keep possession. They bring the ball back and they try it again. I like the patience Reno is showing right now. At the beginning of the game, after the penalty kick, they were pressing a little bit, trying to make things happen, but now they're keeping the ball, finding themselves in dangerous spots.
Brown. Pena went up high. And, you know, if I'm Reno, I'd maybe be a little frustrated that one possibly could have been a penalty kick for Brown as he's still down.
I'm going to say that foul from Pena was probably harder than what he was called for on the first penalty kick. He is very lucky to get away with that. As a young player, if you're going to commit yourself in your own 18, you have to make sure that you win the ball and you win it cleanly.
Reno has been very disciplined between the 32nd minute and the 71st minute this season. Have not scored a single goal between that stretch, but from minute 1 to 31, as well as 72 onward, they have allowed 9 goals. So this is the point where they've typically locked things down. Great stat there from Iron Pony. Excuse me, USL Pony. Be an offside flag on Reno. I'd like to give a shout out to those Reno fans tuning in. A watch party at Mellow Fellow. Curious to know if they have turkey legs there. Gastropub in Reno.
It's Reno. It's the greatest small town in America, so I'm sure they've got turkey legs everywhere.
You know the Battleborn Brigade brings it all the time. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Any Monarchs fans out there as well? Thank you for tuning in. I know we're missing a few of the famed Wasatch Legion members. There's a high Nick sign down there. Martinez is going to battle with Carroll. Carroll's going to be called for the foul as he had his arm around Martinez. Carroll's being told that's the last one.
And I like the decision from the ref here not to give him a yellow card. As a defender, you have to be aggressive. You put yourself in positions where you're going to commit fouls, and you don't want to be getting cards. So I like the decision that the ref is warning him here and not giving him a card and causing him to have to play tentatively the rest of the game.
Free kick coming. Joel Plaza will stand over it. One-man wall in front of him. Line on the top of the 18. Swung, looking back post. Glad's there. Takes a glancing header and wide of frame. Monarchs fans might remember the first ever goal scored by the Monarchs at home. Justin Glad was the one that found that off a glancing header, almost similar to a situation like that.
And were you on the call for that, Landon?
I was. I'd imagine so. I can't remember. It's been a long time. 5 years in the making for this Monarch side. Last couple has been very successful. Brody cuts in, finds Chang. Chang with a little bit of a heavy touch. Be a throw-in for the Monarchs. I was in the stadium if I wasn't on the call.
With 5 minutes to go here, including stoppage, can the Monarchs close this half out? These 5 minutes are going to be extremely important. Because whatever happens here, for Reno or for the Monarchs, that carries the momentum going into the second half for either of these teams.
Plot's a good shot, touch there by Chang. Finds Moberg. Moberg shot just wide.
As a defender that does not find himself in many scoring
Coming,
positions.
Michael, keep coming, come on.
Berg scored one or two
Defenders,
in
boys.
his Monarchs
Go,
career. I'd
let's
have to
stay.
double check that stat, but
Yes, Douglas. Yes, yes.
definitely remember a few here.
Don't let him turn.
You can hear from Martin Vasquez saying, "Don't let him turn," referring to Brian Brown. Herzog has been quite quiet in the last little while.
Glad and Ryden have done a great job with these front two for Reno today. They're not easy to deal with. They're big, strong, athletic players that can play soccer. And Ryden and Glad right now they've been doing a great job in holding them in place and not letting them be too dangerous.
Big switch there from Reno. Haji, defended by Brody, takes a touch, gets a Brody inside the 18. Shot pushed wide. Ochoa has been miraculous for the Monarchs this season.
And another big save from David Ochoa. We've been talking about him for 5 weeks now. Every single week, he is coming up with a big game-changing save for this Monarchs team.
22 saves this season. Richards tries to flick it, and it'll be another corner kick for Reno, their third of the match.
We talk about how stingy this defense for the Monarchs has been, and a big part of that has been the performances that Ochoa has put in for them.
Another corner kick coming. Kasipli plays it in. Cleared away by Martinez. Stoppage time announced, 3 minutes.
Look around, look around.
Wide again to Kasipli. Everybody's still in the box. Chang clears. An arm in the back. Nothing called. Plata. Can he get there? He's going to get... Ooh. Looked like he was going to be able to take his touch. As Gleedle was right with him. Janjigian. I'll switch the field. Carroll picks up his head. The big ball out wide. McQuaw tries to keep it in, but unable to do so.
That's the ball that Reno wants to find. They want to find their left back high and wide like that, but he's got to be able to bring the ball down and play.
Looking forward to Martinez. Martinez lets that roll. And a yellow card shown to Janjigian. He held up Martinez.
And that's the strength that we've been talking about from Martinez. He's been creating so much trouble for center backs that he plays against because he's so big and strong. And right there, Janjigian knew, hey, I don't have the speed to keep up with him over the next 30 yards. And he held him, causing the yellow card.
Stoppage time, yellow card shown to Thomas Janjigian. Monarchs with the reset. Looking wide to Chang. Headed away by Richards. Pena trying to find Martinez. Ball up over top. Ryden's there. He'll smartly head it away. Not going to allow for anything quick from Reno. Here late in stoppage time.
Reno has to get a chance out of this possession.
Gleedle plays it forward. McQuaw tries to win the corner. Will be out for a throw-in as Blake was there to defend it away. Here comes the long throw-in from Herzog. Can't be much time left here as we've gone through the three. Inside the box, Glad there to head it away. And that's all she wrote here in the first half. 45 minutes of soccer done here at Zions Bank Stadium. The Monarchs are going to take a 2-0 lead to the locker room. David? Interesting first 45. The first 5 minutes of this game were pretty wild. 6 minutes, I'll say. PK, then a goal from the Monarchs, or saved PK, and then a goal from the Monarchs.
Reno started the way that they wanted to start this game. They put the Monarchs on their back foot, and Reno was attacking, got the penalty kick, got the chance to score, but the young lad, David Ochoa, comes up with the big save, which completely changes the momentum of this first half for the Monarchs. After the save, the Monarchs, they come down. They score 2 goals within the next 15 minutes, and then you have Reno takes control and does what they finally want to do, but it's a little too late.
2-0 Monarchs here at the halftime break, and we'll toss it over to a piece on a futsal.
I'm here with Julian, Luis, and David at Geneva Elementary School, where we just unveiled to the kids these brand new futsal courts. How does it feel to be a part of this?
It's just an honor to have like our own courts like dedicated to us.
I think it's pretty awesome that, you know, we started off at the academy, you know, when we were age 14, been together for 3 years, 4 years, all the hard work we put in, and, you know, it finally paid off.
Well, we have a really great neighborhood here. These kids are going to be really excited, really involved, and they're going to think this is great.
My whole goal is to develop Utah soccer. And I'd love that a 7-year-old could look and see these homegrown kids and say, I can train here at my elementary, I can take lessons with Real. My goal is to have the whole pyramid perfectly built here in Utah, and I think we're getting there.
I think it's going to be really good for the kids, you know. I think they're going to have fun, and a lot of them are going to try and be footballers when they grow up, and it's going to be good.
America First Credit Union, ensuring the financial health of local families and businesses for 80 years. Tonight's match is presented by Steward Healthcare. Steward, world-class healthcare where you live. Visit steward.org. Mountain America, start preparing for your future today with Picture Perfect savings accounts from Mountain America. They offer term deposits, youth accounts, retirement savings, and more. Visit macu.com. For banking that always puts the best team on the pitch, Zions Bank is for you.
When your sidekick is a dog.
Kicker. I got this.
That's why you use Zelle in the Mountain America app. It makes sending and receiving money fast and easy. So Kicker and I can keep the adventure going.
Zelle is now in the Mountain America mobile app. Quickly send and receive money from almost anyone with a bank account in the U.S.
Kicker, my sleeping bag.
I've got this.
All with the convenience and security of the Mountain America app.
Okay, people, it's Ford Truck Month. And you know what that means. The best deals on America's best-selling trucks for 42 years straight. And with over 28 million sold, isn't it time you joined the stampede?
Now get a Ford F-150 with 0 for 72 financing plus 1,000 trade assist cash, or get over 13,000 in total savings.
Welcome into the beautiful Zions Bank Stadium here in Harriman City. Brody inside the team. Brody shot and goal! Andrew Brody.
Blake takes the shot and he hammered it home.
if there's one thing with USL Championship clubs, it's that they have a way to make the experience unique to their clubs. I'm on site here at BBVA Compass Field in Birmingham to talk a little bit about this iron factory they have on site. I'm joined by Marshall, the director of metal arts at Sloss Furnaces. So, Marshall, first off, tell us what an ingot is.
Okay. So an ingot is basically just a unit of iron.
Okay.
So it's just a way to make the iron portable and mobile and in a manner that can be sold.
Okay.
So the process that we're going to be doing in-game is a little bit different than the casting process. This is a forge setup. So typically used for blacksmithing. You're typically not trying to completely melt what you're working with. You're just raising the temperature enough that it can be malleable.
Okay.
So what we're going to be doing throughout the game is taking one of these in our forge and getting it up to temperature red hot and having that on standby so that when we score a goal, we'll take it out of the forge, over to the ingot, and we have a special die with a spark on it off of the Legion logo.
Right.
And that'll be placed on it and struck with a hammer. It's a two-man operation. When we're ready, the assistant will take that, they'll take the die and put it in place, and then the other person will strike it with a hammer. So each goal that's scored will get a mark, hopefully a lot of them.
Yeah.
And so we have one for each game.
Okay.
So to have the team that they're playing, and so throughout the season, throughout the years, we'll begin to accumulate these and create an iron wall back here with each ingot from the games.
That's going to be amazing. How cool is that for people to come in too and kind of see this little, you know, characteristic of Birmingham? That's awesome. Hammer down! You know, they can tell how hot the steel is by the color. Burning up, red hot.
We're back here at the half, and we'll check out some highlights from this first half and the initial penalty kick call there on Jordan Pena.
Reno got the game started off the way they wanted to with an early penalty kick to get that early lead, but the young man, David Ochoa, comes up big with the save here, changes the momentum of the whole first half for the Monarchs.
Here's the goal from Chang.
That save immediately followed by a great ball from James Moberg to Michael Chang, who brings it down, cool and collected, and finishes it.
Right through the wickets.
A couple minutes later, Joao Plata finds himself in that dangerous spot on top of the 18, and he buries the shot.
Let's check out the team of the week for last week. A few familiar faces: Gordon, who Reno fans just saw, and Robinson, who Monarchs fans saw last week. Neither Reno nor the Monarchs have a player on the team of the week, but Rodriguez is the player of the week from Colorado. Back live here at Zions Bank Stadium. Couple minutes here before we start the second half. Adjustments if you're Ian Russell. This side's very capable of scoring goals, scored goals all season long, but really have had a problem leaking in goals. 8 goals scored, 7 given up. Now 9 given up.
Well, the Reno team that we saw in the last 15 minutes of that first half is the Reno team that we've become accustomed to. A team that keeps possession, that pokes and prods, finds those weak spots in another team, and then exploits them. Now, at the start of this half, can Reno start the same way they ended that first half, by keeping possession, having a purpose for that possession, and really play the way that they want to play? They started the game the way they wanted to. After the penalty kick save, though, they kind of got down on themselves a little bit and lost that momentum.
Something you have to note from the Monarchs side, though, Ochoa has really been on a mission this season. He's been, he's that 18-year-old that has been prepping for this opportunity, and he's been on a mission and has been unstoppable.
Yeah, week in and week out, we constantly talk about this kid. Will his age and inexperience catch up with him? Well, guess what, folks? It has not yet. Once again, he comes up with a game-changing save, which completely shifts the momentum in this game into the Monarchs' favor, followed by 2 goals. Now, do those 2 goals happen without that big save? I don't think so. I think that kind of spurred the Monarchs players on because they came out a little flat in that first half. Reno was all over them, but the young man makes that big save. Monarchs, 2 goals after that.
If you're Martin Vasquez, you have a couple players that you may have on minute restrictions, haven't quite heard, with Plata and Glad, both on rehab assignments. But if you're Martin Vasquez, what adjustments are you making in this second half to make sure this 2-goal lead holds up, or you're able to add a few more on?
Well, one, you're probably not going to see another 45 minutes from Plata. He's a guy that he's a first-team player. They want to keep an eye on him to make sure he doesn't aggravate anything or pick up another injury because of a stupid foul or anything like that. So he's one guy. He's probably going to either be subbed at halftime or come off at some point in the second half. And then what do you do defensively? This is a 2-0 lead. 2-0 leads are some of the worst leads to have in soccer. As whoever scores the next goal will have the momentum. Will it be the Monarchs or will it be Reno?
And Reno's undefeated on the season. That's something we haven't mentioned. Monarchs coming off their first loss in Las Vegas. Reno has yet to lose a game here this season. They've really been consistent. Obviously, they've given up goals, and they've had some weird games like last week, scoring 3 goals, then giving up 3 late goals. But like I mentioned in that statistic, they've been pretty consistent through the 71st minute of play. Very stalwart defensively. They've struggled at the very start, and then late in the game, they've struggled as well.
And we talked about they're a team that can score goals in bunches. So the Monarchs have to be wary that as this second half begins, because Reno will just need 1 goal to get back into this game. So the Monarchs defensively are going to have to be very stout for the next 45 minutes.
Possession so far for both sides, 52% for the Monarchs, 48% for Reno, and I think that number was climbing pretty quickly for Reno late in the half. Janjigian really has been probably the most efficient distributor for Reno so far. 92% pass accuracy, 36 passes, 41 touches, and 2 clearances.
And early on in the game, Brown and Herzog, they were finding themselves in really good spots behind the back 4 of the Monarchs, but that was it. They weren't getting anything beyond that. Can they find themselves in those same lanes again? But now, can Reno get up the field and support them so that Brown and Herzog have guys that they can play to in dangerous positions?
Both teams out on the pitch, almost ready to go. Pazakos start things off. Ryden.
I'm going to guarantee you that Ian Russell gave an earful to these guys at halftime. They're going to come out here ready to go. The Monarchs are going to have to match that intensity that Reno's going to start this half with.
Looks like there was a substitution from Reno at the half, as we'll try to get on that one. A couple substitutions. So we're going to get those numbers for you here shortly. Glad plays it back to Ochoa. Bouncing ball. He's able to deal with it well. Martinez, good work right there to get it back in possession.
Again, Douglas.
Moberg. Forward to Martinez. Ball forward. Hurd in behind the defense. The Qualls with him. Plays it back. Trying to find it to the top of the 18. Plata held up his run.
Keep coming, Josh. Keep coming.
And that's what you want from your 9 Martinez right there. He's a guy, you play it into his feet, he lays it off to the center mid, and you get your winger streaking up the sideline, and you find him behind the back 4 of Reno.
Connected.
Looks like Ian Russell elected to use 2 substitutions as Herzog and Janjigian's nights will be done. Cruz came on for Janjigian.
Not the ball that Justin Glad wanted to play there. Can he keep possession? Can he go back to Ochoa there and keep possession for the Monarchs?
Apodaca on for Reno. Coming on for Herzog. Good play up top with Brown. Seymour. Ball behind Gleedle. Martinez picks up his head, trying to find somebody. Blake's there. Carroll, shot! Goal! Jack Blake.
Not a goal that we're used to from Jack Blake. We're used to the Blake rocket, but calmly he just slides it into the back post. Very veteran finish there from the midfielder.
Martinez, nice ball. Blake and Carroll was just a touch too late to get to that one, and Blake's able to find the back of the net. Jack of Blades, the captain.
And that's what you want from your captain right there, scoring the critical goal to break Reno's back here. First 5 minutes of the second half, Reno's got a very long hill to climb up now.
And only with 1 substitution now as Ian Russell elected to use 2 at the half. Gotta speak to the workhorse. Another guy that is continually working. Martinez finds himself in a good position, puts the ball right back, his high boot there. Yee.
Hey.
You know, we talked about Martinez in pregame of how he's been putting in work, and just not getting on the stat sheet.
You're gonna see another replay. Look at this. Got him in the chest, it looks like. Because it's his first action, maybe his first, close to his first touch. I don't think he's shown yellow, but if this is maybe later in the half, he's shown yellow, I believe.
And this goes back to what we talked about in the LA game. You know, is that we saw a red card given to Jefferson Savarino against DC. We saw a yellow card given in LA, and we see nothing giving here. So where does this type of foul fall on the spectrum of high boot? To me, this has been the most dangerous one we've seen yet with no card.
Ryden getting some medical attention. Trying to get up. Looks to be all right. He's going to get a nice hand up.
He's a tough Midwest kid. It's going to take a lot more than that to hold him down.
I was going to say, he's got some muscles. Strong center back for the Monarchs. He'll step off the pitch. Grab some water and get waved back on. Richard's going to cut that one off. Kasipli. Good ball there. Found forward. Glad's able to cut it off. And Ryden, Johnny on the spot. Blake's going to go down. Not sure why there wasn't a foul called there. Seymour will play it wide. 3-0 Monarchs. Goals in the 6th, 15th, and 47th, respectively.
During that Ryden injury, we were talking about Douglas Martinez and how much work he's put in this year with no payoff so far. But today, he's got himself 2 assists, and you're starting to see that work paying off for him.
Liedel taken out by Moberg. Martinez going to go forward. Chased by Cruz. Cruz didn't know where the ball was for a second, but able to gain possession and win it away from Martinez. Couple no calls in succession there.
And the ref has to be really careful here because it's kind of teetering a little bit where he could lose control of this game against 2 very physical teams.
You'll see this last replay. Looks like he actually did get ball right there on Gleedle Moberg.
Hey, Jordan!
Ball swung wide to Ryden. Big switch there for the Monarchs. Are we cut off? By Lacroix. Brown and Ryden battling. Ryden's right on his back, making sure that he has a lot of pressure every time he turns.
You want the other team's number 9. You want him facing away from the goal he's trying to score in. Ryden just has to keep pushing him backwards and force him to go that way.
Lacroix, defended by Moberg. Moberg, good job there to push that one out for a corner kick. First of the second half for Reno.
Once again, James Moberg finds himself in a tough one-on-one situation by himself against one of the more athletic players from Reno, and James Moberg does a fantastic job of containing him and preventing the cross.
Kasipli plays in, looking back post, headed up over the crossbar by Carroll. Moberg. A little turn there. Trying to find Martinez. Martinez, good job there. Hurd's going to try to take the inside path. Lacroix is there, though. Plata applied some pressure. Pretty good crowd on hand here in this Saturday afternoon in early April. Kind of a busy weekend here in Utah with a lot going on. LDS General Conference, one of the things happening in Salt Lake. Ball clipped in and cut out by Glad. Still on top of the 18. Kasipli picks up his head, trying to find Brown, but the flag is up. It'll be offside on Reno.
As a young player, Jordan Payne is going to have to realize he can't go flying in all the time to try to win balls. He's got to be patient. If Reno's going to have control of the ball, let the Reno guy bring the ball down and then get tight to him. Don't go flying in while the ball's still in the air, because that's going to put you in a really bad position for a bad foul.
Real Salt Lake also playing tonight, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time in Seattle, playing the Sounders up in the Pacific Northwest. Cruz all the way back to JT.
With Reno being down 3-0 right now, can they find a rhythm offensively? Can they poke and prod this Monarchs defense to find those weak spots and try to exploit them?
Brown forward, Glad there with him. Glad gets it to it first. Monarchs working hard defensively as a team. Martinez, you've got to love it, Plata. Marszkankowski up there to cut that one off. If not, Plata's in on goal.
Once again, just unbelievable work from Douglas Martinez. He's that big, strong 9, holding the ball up, laying it off, turning the center backs, and finding the Monarchs runners in behind the Reno back 4.
Stay on your feet, stay.
Gleedle trying to find Kasipli. Good defensive work there by Chang to not allow the outlet out wide. Blake settles. Hurd's going to go forward. Got a green in front of him. It'll slow it up. Smart, do not have to go forward all the time. And I think that's the mentality sometimes of young players, and you see that a lot here in the USL Championship. Guys think they have to go forward and just go, go, go.
Sometimes you see young players just want to drive and drive with the ball, and they drive themselves so far down the field that they have no support. Now it's 1 against 4 or 1 against 5. Excellent work from the veteran Josh Hurd there. He starts driving forward, realizes he doesn't have any support, pulls the ball back, and now the Monarchs are able to keep possession.
Plata picks up his head. Space in front of him, ball behind Blake, but Blake will adjust. Wide to Hurd. Hurd trying to clip it in, finding Martinez, but there was an on-rushing Cruz. Made him react a little quicker than I think he wanted to.
You know, Josh Hurd is one of those guys at the beginning of this year, Landon, that kind of found himself on the outside looking in, and he was given a chance a few weeks ago, and he's made the most of it ever since. And I think he's been one of the best players for the Monarchs over the last 3 or 4 weeks. You may not see it on the stat sheet, but it's just that work that he puts in every single game that he's been stepping out there for the Monarchs.
Reno sitting in high attacking positions. They've had a lot of guys really sitting as a giveaway for the Monarchs. Brown tries to turn.
Well, when Reno's down 3-0, they have to start taking those chances. Guys have to start sitting a little higher because they're pulled out of their defensive shape now because they have to score.
Another giveaway. Kasipli going forward. Kasipli. Glad goes to ground. Brown out wide. That'll be a big touch there from Andrew Brody. Brody was able to get back and make sure Brown wasn't able to get a shot on goal, but he looks like he took a little punishment there.
That was an opportunistic play from Reno because the Monarchs were sloppy with their balls in the middle third of the field there, and Reno picked one off, and you get a very good counterattack here for Reno that they almost scored on, if not from an excellent play from Andrew Brody.
Corner kick coming. Swung in, still inside the box. Cleared by Glad. Not all the way, though. Gleedle keeps it in. Takes a deflection. Blake will play it forward. Not all the way, though. Reno still pushing, applying pressure. Brown's going to settle, and Moberg does a good job to get the touch to go off Brown. It'll be a goal kick for the Monarchs.
And the veteran Moberg points at the 6-yard box as if the ball went out on Brown, and he gets the call from the referee. What a veteran move from James Moberg. I absolutely love that.
Here's what David Horst was talking about a few minutes ago. Substitution coming for Joel Plata. So he's going to see his number called. And Kyle Coffey is going to make his professional debut for the Monarchs. University of Washington product. Syracuse, Utah native, LaRocca. From my town, Syracuse. That's where I'm living right now. So he'll enter, and Noah Powder will come on as well for Justin Glad, and the Monarchs are going to make a couple adjustments here. Adjustment you'll see is Coffey is going to sit in the middle, it looks like right now.
Coffey's going to kind of play as maybe a pseudo 10 underneath Martinez, and then you see Brody come over to the right, Powder to the left, and James Moberg, who can play many positions across that back line, will seamlessly slide into the center back spot that Justin Glad previously had.
Glad and Plata, 60 minutes. Pretty solid soccer for both those guys.
One thing I didn't mention when Coffey came on is I love seeing these local kids from Utah getting chances here with the Monarchs. It gives a great opportunity for these kids in the crowd to be able to connect with the players and see, hey, if I put in the work, maybe someday I'll see myself out here on this field.
And Peña's another one that's a local, Spanish Fork, Utah. A couple guys with local ties on the pitch for the Monarchs. Quite a few academy guys as well. Reno, keep possession. Cruz all the way over to Carroll, the captain.
Can Reno start to capitalize on some of these chances that they're getting? You You know, besides that penalty kick in the first half, they've gotten kind of a lot of half chances, but haven't been able to make the most of them so far in this game.
Good turn there. Moberg's going to cut it off as he gets his first touch as a center back. Who's up, who's down? Where does your club sit? Find out every Monday in the official USL Championship Power Rankings, only on USLChampionship.com. That's USLChampionship.com. Wow. Brody in the perfect spot to cut that one off, and Blake's going to pick up his head. He's going to try to go forward. Martinez is going to rush under it, tries to keep it in, puts it down on the lower fields here at Zions Bank Real Academy. Sipley. Haji cuts in. Haji in the middle of the park. Trying to find Brown. He'll go wide to Gleedle. Gleedle's going to attack Brody. Cut off. The Monarchs Academy duo there does a good job to stifle that attack. What's fitting, the Monarchs are wearing blue today. We talk a lot about blue-collar workers. They're wearing their blue shorts, blue pants, whatever you want to say in that sense. They're putting in the work rate tonight, defensively as well as offensively.
And that's what you want from this group of guys, is you want to see them putting in that hard work on both sides of the ball. Because honestly, that right there is that's what it takes to win championships, is hard work on both sides of the ball. There's no room in the modern game for lazy players anymore. All 11 players really have to play both sides of the ball.
Yes. Attack!
Kasipli, ball out wide. Cuts in. Ooh, Moberg with a good little stand there. Looks like he was not able to get it. Then last time kind of lays down and makes sure he gets the slight touch.
He loses his balance, but he's able to stick that foot in there at the last second and just make it hard on Apodaca trying to get through. Brody pushed that forward straight into Moberg, and Moberg was able to make a great tackle.
Carroll goes forward. Ochoa rushing out to make sure that one's cleared wide.
Always an adventure when a goal starts coming outside of his own 18.
Last time we've had a couple guys make professional debuts. One of them, Jordan Paso, scored in his professional debut. We'll see if Kyle Coffey can do the same.
Hold on, Jack.
Out wide by Blake. Hurd. Monarchs with great possession and composure here in the last few.
And you can really hear this coaching staff for the Monarchs stepping up to lead them right now. You hear Martinez, you hear Hamas Nalava, you hear Matt Glazer all from the bench telling the Monarchs, hey, be calm, composed, let's keep the ball a little bit, and let's try and wear Reno down.
One of the things that helps this side maintain possession is when you have a guy like Martinez. Douglas is phenomenal at holding up possession up top. He's always battling, as we've seen today, and he does a good job holding up so that some of the gaps can open up.
Well, as a Monarchs player, you know that if you go forward and you play that ball, that he's going to hold it up. And when he holds that ball up, it allows the Monarchs team to get up the field with them, and then he can lay it off to other players to keep possession.
Brody and Gleedle's going to go forward. Brody's able to get back, though.
And to be honest, I think that is something that the Monarchs kind of really lacked the last few years. Nothing against Chandler Hoffman. He was a great goal scorer, but he wasn't that type of player where he would hold off a 6'3", 6'4" center back and keep the ball for the Monarchs.
Ball out wide to Lacroix. Brody. Gleedle able to get around him. Gleedle's going to pick up his head. Has space in front of him. Jordan there. And Pena able to cut it off.
Great work from the youngster just to keep himself in front of that shot.
Ball inside the box. Cleared away. Powder's going to keep it in. But it'll finally go out for a Reno throw-in. Ball pinging around. Powder able to cut that one off as you get a nice shot of the Wasatch Legion there in the high Nick sign. I know Nick's out watching some WrestleMania, cheering on Johnny Gargano.
Oh.
NTX Championship.
I hope he brings some of that energy from WrestleMania back for the Monarchs for their next home game.
You know Nick will. One of the faithful Wasatch Legion members. Reno has a great squad like we talked about earlier, the Battleborn Brigade.
I played in the USL on loan from RSL about 10 years ago. At that time, there weren't a lot of supporters groups coming out for these teams. Now, almost with every team across the league, you have a hardcore supporters group, and as a player, I absolutely love seeing that support. That these cities they're just rallying behind their teams and making these guys, feel really important. Feel like true, proper soccer professionals.
I think his cleat's broken. He's got some staff running in to grab some new studs for him. Martinez, good job, hold up play there. He's gonna win the foul for the Monarchs. Every time, guys are just getting frustrated. Martinez is able to hold them off. Some strong work there.
And there's that strength that we have talked about from Martinez on every broadcast so far this season. He's just starting to show off.
Free kick coming. Noah Powder. He'll play this one in from the near side. Swings it inside the box, headed by Hurd, still inside the box. Carroll missed it. Ryden, he'll pick up his head. Ryden inside, headed away. Coffee to Brody. Blake. Coffee gets around. Kasipli plays it inside the box, looking back, stick a little long. Ryden with a nice little touch.
Great touch from Kalen Ryden there.
Chang tries to find Coffee. Coffee getting around the defense, but unable to get on the end of that one. Looks like Reno will make their final substitution in the 68th minute of play. Rivas is going to enter the match. Sergio Rivas, 26th overall draft pick by the San Jose Earthquake in the 2019 MLS Super Draft. Seattle University, 85 appearances, 19 goals, and 27 assists. As Haji's night is done, and no more substitutions available for Ian Russell. Kasipli. Carroll. Monarchs up 3-0. Martin Vasquez still with one substitution available. Subs up and in the corner. As Plata and Glad put in a good shift through 60 minutes.
And that's what you want to see with those guys coming down here to play is they put in a good shift. They stayed healthy. They got themselves a little bit more fit. They got themselves a little bit more mentally ready. And now when they go back up to the first team, they're going to be that much closer to getting back into the lineup.
Ball still kept in. Jang. Cut off by Reno. Monarchs struggling to clear. Powder with a back heel to knock it off Reno. It'll be a goal kick for the Monarchs.
It's a great tackle from Noah Powder to be able to win the ball and then have it go off the Reno player for a Monarchs goal kick. As this game goes on, can the Monarchs, even though they're winning 3-0, can they keep their focus and can they close this game out and put in a professional performance?
Monarchs 8 goals scored in the last 2 games here at Zions Bank Stadium. Efficient this season for the Monarchs. So far, 3 shutouts in 3 games here as well at Zions Bank Stadium. 71st minute of play. Reno maintaining some possession. Aqua. Rivas. Coffee with the touch. Good composure there.
Forward. Stay on side.
Hurd. He'll be taken out. 2 fouls there. Surprised not to see yellow. He made sure he got both those guys. Hurd, Martinez still down.
Some very intense work from Seymour, which is what you want kind of out of your 6. But the referee has to keep control of this game and not allow somebody to go on a foul frenzy there.
Whole team's gonna get some water. Excuse me, the Monarchs player's gonna get some water. Martinez still down. Free kick for the Monarchs coming. For those Monarchs fans out there tuning in, give a shameless plug for the podcast. The Center Circle, the Real Monarchs weekly podcast. Find that on anywhere where you subscribe to podcasts, Stitcher, iTunes, those good places. Talk about turkey legs this last episode. We're enjoying those here up in the booth on Medieval Day here at Zions Bank Stadium.
Talking turkey legs and talking with James Moberg. Great conversation with him this past week.
Oh, good ball there from Coffee. Out wide, Blake trying to find Hurd. That had some more pace on it. Might have been a promising attack for the Monarchs. Martinez there found himself with a bunch of 6 or so white jerseys around him, no one forward in front of him.
Martinez did a great job finding a good spot, but as soon as he turned with that ball, there was just an entire white wall in front of him. But hey, he did a great job of keeping control and allowing the Monarchs to get up in the attack with him.
Hurd. Middle of the park. Pena, he'll come forward. Good little touch there to get it wide to Hurd. Hurd keeps it in. Big shift there, switch, excuse me, Moberg, and that was cut off.
That was the right idea from James Moberg. Chang he had space out there on the sideline, but James, he has to overhit the ball a little bit more than what he did that time.
74th minute of play, Monarchs still lead 3-0. Brown unable to find him really infused in this game. Coffee, he's got a defender in front of him. See what he can do. He looks wide, picks up his head, shot, pushed wide! On his debut, trying to find the back of the net and had an opportunity to find Martinez. He was streaking left of him, but found a lot of space open up as he made that cut. Just could not get it past JT. Good save there, and it'll be a corner kick for the Monarchs.
Fantastic run from Coffee there. He's extremely patient with the ball. He's driving forward at pace. He's not in a hurry to play. He kept the ball. The Reno defense dropped off in the different areas, and Coffee found himself wide open in front of the goal.
3 shots in the second half for this Monarch side as Powder will play it in from the left side. Back stick held in by Ryden, but he was falling backwards, unable to put much force on that one on goal.
I think when Coffee goes back and watches that highlight, he's going to be extremely disappointed in himself to not finish on his debut.
Pena cut that one off. Blake will play it all the way back to Ochoa. 9 total shots for the Monarchs today. 10 total for Reno. Quality opportunities, though, have been for the Monarchs. Martinez, good little ball. Brody's going to keep going forward. Someone's got to play back as Martinez is going to go back. The flag's up on Brown, and pure frustration there from Brown.
He's trying to do the right thing, but he's just going a little too early right now, and he keeps finding himself in those offsides positions. This is what I talked about early on in the game, is he can't get frustrated, because as soon as you start getting frustrated is when bad things start happening. You start finding yourself in offsides all the time. You start missing open chances, and right now, Brown is frustrated.
Moberg playing it forward. Coffey goes up for the header. Looked like two guys collided. Coffey called for the foul and a quick restart from Reno. Jack Blake, 55 total passes this afternoon. 25 in the opposition's half. He's been really one applying some of the distribution, or playing forward some of the distribution for the Monarchs.
What you want to see from your 8 is you want to see him breaking lines. And Jack Blake, every time he's received the ball, he's able to turn, and he can find the next level, whether it's Coffey, whether it's Martinez, whether it's Hurd or Chang. He is constantly breaking that Reno line, and that's giving the Monarchs unbelievable counterattack chances right now.
Moberg's going to play it back to Ochoa. Ochoa touch, playing it forward, finds Brody. Good little ball, perfectly weighted. Monarchs kind of doing what they want with the ball. Both Brody and Hurd able to keep it just along the touchline here on this near side. Ball forward, Chang rushing on. Chang's going to get the touch. Martinez was going wide of him. Chang, a little drag there. Still inside the area. Blake picks up his head, finds Powder wide. Powder playing it back stick. Unfortunate for Martinez. Martinez was making a nice run overlapping on the right side, but clipped from behind. As Plua is going to come on in this match. Monarchs coaching staff making an adjustment.
The coaches are trying to figure out who they want to take off. 15 minutes left here. You have to make the right decision with your last sub.
Plua all ready to go. Looks like the Monarchs are going to take back their substitution card, at least momentarily. Be a goal kick for the Monarchs, David Ochoa. Ochoa getting everybody up and forward. 79th minute of play. Martinez wins the header. Hurd putting in a battle with Lacroix. Lacroix wins that one.
And Landon, I would say the big difference between the Monarchs and Reno in the second half is Reno has had a lot of possession, but it's been their defenders. When you have a lot of possession, you do not want it to be your defenders that have a lion's share of that. You want it to be your attacking players. Whereas on the flip side, the Monarchs players, when they win the ball, they're going from point A to point B, which is the Reno goal, immediately, and they're getting a lot of chances here in the second half.
Big giveaway there. Rivas, he'll take a shot from distance. And Ochoa knew that one was high, brought his hands down. It'll be a goal kick for the Monarchs. You can check out some of the Reno Battleborn Brigade there. As we already talked about a watch party happening at Mellow Fellow. But a few fans here. Substitution, Conrad Plua will step on the field. Douglas Martinez, who you'd love to see with a goal to his name, but he'll walk off with 1 assist tonight.
So with Conrad Plua coming into this game and Martinez coming off, Kyle Coffey, he's going to be pushed up to the striker position, and it looks like the Monarchs are going to put Conrad Plua in the center of a back five, and really Brody and Powder, they're going to kind of be like wing backs, and they're going to sit with a strong three at center back for the rest of this game.
Must have been something they were seeing from the sideline, an adjustment they want to make.
Well, we talked about it in pregame, Landon. Reno can score goals in bunches. They are capable of going for 2 or 3 in only a few minutes. So to prevent that, you put 5 defenders on because Brown is an extremely dangerous player.
Ryden heads it away.
Keep coming, Kyle, keep coming.
Coffey's now going to have.
The flip side of going with 5 in the back is the Monarchs are going to cede a lot of possession to the Reno defenders.
Brown, ball falls, shot, and a goal! What a beauty! As the Monarchs concede their first. And that was a rocket.
We've been talking about it all game. Reno can score. You put an extra defender on. There's miscommunication in the back. Guys don't know where they should be. Ball falls down to the Reno player at the top of the 18. An excellent finish.
What a goal scored there as the Monarchs give up that clean sheet. It was a beauty. Plua cut that one away. Not all the way, though, as Gleedle holds it in.
Yes, Josh, yes, Josh.
Going defensively sometimes can hurt. Sometimes the best defense is a strong attack. The Monarchs need to figure things out here defensively.
And what I was saying right before that great Reno goal was that with 5 in the back, you're going to cede a lot of possession to the Reno defenders and their midfield, and that's what's happening right now is the Monarchs are sitting back with 5 players. They're not able to put pressure on Reno, and Reno's able to pick out passes now.
Moberg, he'll come across. Brody will cut that one away. Hurd tries to play it forward, can't clear it all the way. Looks like he's pulling to his leg. Ryden steps up and wins that one.
Connected higher.
Coffey's got no one there. Seymour gonna see yellow.
And this is what we talked about 15 minutes ago, Landon, was Seymour on a foul frenzy, ref not keeping him under control at that point. And you get this, you get Kyle Coffey being injured on a really bad tackle from behind by Seymour.
There's one thing to grab onto a jersey, but that was another one, a full push there. Coffey looks to be all right.
In that situation, when Coffey picks that ball up and the Monarchs have been under so much pressure from Reno, I'd love to see him just drive forward and allow the defenders to get up the field.
Out, hey! Jack, stay central so we get it.
Plua wide to Ryden. Powder. Back. A foul called. It'll be a free kick for the Monarchs. 85th minute of play. 3 Monarchs after giving up a goal in the 81st minute of play. Blake, middle of the pitch, rises with Kasipli. No foul called. Blake gets it back. Finds Coffey.
Brody, connect it.
Pena to Ryden. It's a better spell of possession for the Monarchs. Needed for quite a little while.
And this is what you need right now from the Monarchs, just to relieve that pressure and momentum that Reno was really building. Reno was taking control of this game, and all it takes is just a little spell of possession from the Monarchs to kind of break that momentum.
Blake was trying to find Brody forward. Now the Monarchs have to get back. Lacroix out wide. Lacroix picks up his head, tries to put it inside the box. Moberg and his back are able to cut that one out.
If Reno can get one more goal here in the next few minutes, it is going to be a long end of the game here for the Monarchs.
Lacroix looking back stick, headed away by Chang, not cleared all the way. We're throwing on the far side.
Pick up!
Richards gonna come.
And Richards has a
the
very
long
long
throw.
throw. Can the Monarchs clear their lines here? Get up the field, let Ochoa just punt the ball into the corner, and let Reno start 90 yards from their goal instead of 40 here.
Get there, Josh!
Aiden picks up his head to Rivas. Inside the box, Plua there, tries to clear, still inside the box. Monarchs struggling to clear it. Coffee, he'll go forward, lots of green space, tries to play it wide to Hurd, touch too long.
I think Kyle Coffey's going to be very disappointed in himself there with that ball. He makes a great run forward, but the pass was lacking just a little bit there.
Ball out wide. Richards to Carroll. Gleedle looked like he came from an offside position, but able to stay on. Richards on rushing inside the box. Moberg there to cut that one away, and it'll be a corner kick for Reno. Some hairy moments here late for the Monarchs.
Absolutely fantastic tackle from James Moberg there. That is not an easy play to make, and as that ball rolls across, Moberg has to slide early because you know Appendeck is going to be getting a shot off, and Moberg times the slide just right.
Corner kick coming in, cut out by Blake. Guido's going to try to hold it in, though. Blake does a good job to cut that one away. And the Monarchs have to get up and out of there. You're seeing some of the center backs pushing forward. David next to me pushing everybody up.
Sometimes that's
mindset
still
of a center back.
That's still the center back in me coming out.
Kalen's going to cut that one away. Chang. Out wide to Powder. Back to Ryden, and Ryden will try to clear big. This is when you miss a guy like Martinez, who was putting up some work up top. Lacroix out wide to Brown. Reno with a large share of possession here in the last few.
Brown has got to get that ball off his foot and get himself forward. He's the most dangerous attacking player for Reno. He can't be back in the midfield with the ball. He's got to stay forward.
Rivas picks up his head, cut off by Chang. If you're a Monarchs fan, these last couple could be interesting. Reno trying to find the second and see if they can swing the pendulum.
That's where Brown needs to find himself, on that defensive line of the Monarchs. That's where he's going to be the most dangerous.
Blake turns his head, plays it forward. Get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for the Real Monarchs, then click follow to keep up with the latest news and scores, plus reminders on your home team's next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. It's ESPN.com. Gleedle out wide to Brown. You want to see Brown inside. Opportunity for Gleedle. As if that's, and if you've got a player going down like that, I mean, in theory, it's a yellow card and a PK or a yellow card for the dive, correct?
No doubt about it, Landon. That is one, either PK, or two, a yellow for a dive.
So questions coming from the Monarchs bench. or excuse me, from Ian Russell. 5 minutes of stoppage has been announced here.
5 minutes may not seem like a long time, Landon, but with the way this game is going right now, it's going to seem like an eternity for the Monarchs.
5 minutes for this Monarchs team to see if they can carry out the defensive work they've put in so far and not just let the one slip up. Beautiful goal from Reno. Take away from this 3 points. Ball inside. Brown. The last guy you want to be given an opportunity is a free kick and a foul.
That is great work from Conrad Pluer to be tight to Brown. He's pushing him backwards now. You don't need to win that ball, Landon. Just keep pushing him back. Conrad Pluer wants to make a difference. He wants to win that tackle. Unfortunately, he catches Brown there to cause a foul. Now, Reno has a free kick in an extremely dangerous position.
Monarchs with 4 in their wall. Sipley and Brown standing over it. Brown takes the shot off the wall, and Ochoa is able to keep it in. Wall did its job perfectly there. Ochoa will kill some time, keeping it at his feet.
Brown, who's a great goal scorer, is going to be really disappointed when he goes back and watches that. He's going to expect more out of himself on free kicks in that position.
Plua cleared away. Monarchs.
Ochoa, he has got to be confident in those kicks. He can't take chances. I don't know why he's hitting a sidewinder there. Be safe and punt that ball 80 yards into the Reno half.
Monarchs with 8 different players that have shots today. A lot of offense, but here late, a lot of defense being put in. Brown's going to rise up, take a glancing header, and it will be a corner kick for Reno. Their 8th so far of this match.
Can Reno capitalize on this right now? There's still time left.
Sipley plays it in, back post, Carroll there, but Ryden rises high. There'll be another corner kick for Reno. I think Carroll might have touched that as the Monarchs showed some reaction. Unofficially through 3 minutes of the 5.
Sipley has to play a good ball in here. He cannot waste this opportunity.
Almost everybody forward for Reno. All Monarchs inside the box. Ball slipped in. Ochoa's there. Someone crashed into Ochoa there as he finds himself laying kind of in the side netting. He's in a little bit of pain there. Training staff's going to come on and check him out. See a replay look at that. Ooh, right there. Get a second look at it. Looks like he got a lower leg from Rivas. And he's up and all right.
Before that corner, I said Sipley could not waste that opportunity. I think that service was lacking just a little bit from him there. Reno had everybody in the box, and he puts the ball onto the frame of the goal. Put it between the 6 and the penalty mark and let your guys make a play.
As the rain starts to fall here at Zions Bank Stadium. Knew this was a possibility as the dark clouds have been around all afternoon. Coffee goes down, and a foul will be given. Took a little bit. Thrown on the far side, Powder.
Powder has to waste as much time as he can here. Hold that ball for a while. You just came into the game. You don't have a card. Hold that ball until the referee warns you or gives you a card.
Blake. Good touch there to Chang. Chang tries to get around Carroll. Keeps it in. Coffee there. Coffee trying to find Blake. Too far for him. Brody's there. Brody's touch was long, though.
The Monarchs have to be careful here. They're getting a lot of numbers forward, and Reno can catch them on the counter.
As Rivas' touch is going to be long and wide. Be out for a throw-in.
I think the Monarchs are very lucky there to not get caught on the counter. If not for a bad touch from Rivas there, it would have been a 3-on-3 back there.
A foul and a reset. Just at the midfield line. Cruz will take it. Ball inside the box. Ochoa there. Runs in. Richards gets him, but Ryden's there to clean it up. Ryden will play it forward. And that's full time here at Zions Bank Stadium. The Monarchs going to take all 3 points from this one.
Once again, Monarchs making Harriman an absolute fortress. It's going to be tough to play them this year.
Both teams going to shake hands out on the pitch. 3-1 Monarchs. Goals by Chang in the 6th minute. Assist by Moberg. Plata in the 15th. Blake in the 47th. As we're going to take a break here and come back with some final game stats for this one as the Monarchs take the 3-1 victory here at Zions Bank Stadium. America First Credit Union, ensuring the financial health of local families and businesses for 80 years. Tonight's match is presented by Steward Healthcare. Steward, world-class healthcare where you live. Visit steward.org. Mountain America, start preparing for your future today with Picture Perfect savings accounts from Mountain America. They offer term deposits, youth accounts, retirement savings, and more. Visit ACU.com. For banking that always puts the best team on the pitch, Zions Bank is for you.
A lot can happen when your sidekick is a dog.
I got this.
That's why you use Zelle in the Mountain America app. It makes sending and receiving money fast and easy. So Kicker and I can keep the adventure going.
Zelle is now in the Mountain America mobile app. Quickly send and receive money from almost anyone with a bank account in the U.S.
Kicker, my sleeping bag.
I've got this.
All with the convenience and security of the Mountain America app.
The past 42 years, and with over 28 million sold, more people have put their hard-earned money on a Ford F-Series truck than any other pickup in America. Yeah, I'd say that's money well spent. It's Ford Truck Month, America. Time to join the stampede.
Now get a Ford F-150 with 0 for 72 financing plus 1,000 trade assist cash, or get over 13,000 in total savings.
Welcome into the beautiful Zions Bank Stadium here in Harriman City. Brody inside the team. Brody shot and a goal! Andrew Brody!
Blake takes the shot, and he hammered it home.
Monarchs take the full 3 points here. David, an exciting game late in the game. Really, Reno looked like they possibly had a chance to see if they could find themselves back completely in this game and see if they could steal away a point.
Yeah, we talked about in pregame how stingy the Monarchs defense has been this year. Now, on the flip side of that, they hadn't scored many goals. We finally got to see that offense really find their rhythm tonight and get a few goals. And then that stingy defense at the end of the game, Reno had a lot of chances. They had a lot of control of that ball. And that stingy defense, they held up and they prevented any more goals.
Monarchs with 8 goals in the past 2 games here at Zions Bank Stadium. And if we're going to pick a player of the match, we have to give him a turkey leg. So the turkey leg of the match has to go to Douglas Martinez for me. He's the type of guy that put in the work today, finally getting some credit for it with 2 assists, but really all night long was causing problems for Carroll and Janjigian as he was holding up the ball very well.
And I've said every single week, Douglas Martinez has been my man of the match from the sheer amount of work that he is always putting in. And tonight, he didn't get any goals, but he got 2 assists on that stat sheet, and hopefully this kind of spurs him forward to get some goals.
Monarchs on the road next week, but back here in 2 weeks here at Zions Bank Stadium. We'll have that call on ESPN Plus in 2 weeks. Thanks for tuning in today from our wonderful team here at Zions Bank Stadium, all the awesome guys and men and women who take care of this and make it happen. David Horst, Landon Southwick, stats provided by Connor McKenna. We'll sign off and catch you back here in 2 weeks.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.